Well, New South Wales Police are facing criticism over the attempted arrest of an elderly activist in Sydney who was brought to the ground head first, leaving him in hospital with facial injuries. The police commissioners promised an independent review while legal advocates have lodged a complaint with the police watchdog, and it's led to a fresh debate about frontline police tactics, as Gavin Coote reports.
Inside of the shopping complex of Sydney's Queen Victoria building, police are filmed attempting to arrest Danny Lim, an elderly protester often seen wearing a sandwich board emblazoned with cryptic and provocative messages. The footage recorded yesterday and posted on social media shows the 78-year-old trying to break from the grip of two officers before being forced to the tiled floor. His head hits first, causing a bleeding gash below his right eye. Mr. Lim was wearing a sign featuring the words "smile" and CVN''T, similar to one he previously received a fine for wearing, but he successfully contested that in court. Sydney lawyer Chris Murphy captured the footage, along with a picture of Mr. Lim in hospital later on, with a black eye and bloodied cheek.
This is just a beautiful human being, 78 years old, weighs about 45 kilos, often seen with a dog under his arm, and wanders around Sydney. He's quite iconic. This happened to him, same sign, about in 2018. Police assaulted him. That was resolved later on, but the magistrate said that they just strong-armed him. It was unnecessary, and the sign is not offensive or any breach of the law. But now we have it after that. With that knowledge out there, they did this to him again yesterday.
New South Wales Police say officers were called yesterday by the shopping centre's security and issued Mr. Lim with a move-on direction, but he failed to comply. It's launched an independent review which will examine the actions of police during the incident. Chris Murphy worries about Mr. Lim's condition.
Two lawyers from my office are sitting with him. They're not sitting there as lawyers, they're friends, and they're worried for this single, helpless, old man who does no harm to anyone.
Sam Lee is the acting principal solicitor at Redfern Legal Centre.
Look, it's very distressing watching the video. I mean, he's a slight man of 78 years of age, and his head meeting that very hard ground is very difficult to watch.
She questions whether the use of force was necessary in this situation.
Force should be a last resort, and in these circumstances, from what I've seen in the video, the force was just not necessary. What the next step is for the LEC to investigate these proceedings. We are lodging a complaint with the Law Enforcement Conduct Commission to investigate this matter and to assess whether the action was unlawful.
Terry Goldsworthy is an associate professor at Bond University and a former police officer. He says while it's still unclear what led up to the incident, most police forces have models they rely on when using force.
Police, when they engage in these kind of issues, should be conducting a continuous risk assessment. And that is in terms of the environment the person is, other people around, whether the person's armed or the threat the person may pose. And part of that is proportionality in terms of, how well built is a person, how old are they, how mobile are they, those type of things. All of those things need to be considered when the police are deciding whether just to use, open-handed tactics, whether they're going to use their handcuffs, whether they're going to use their capsicum spray, or just use presence and communication to move someone on or to achieve some kind of objective in terms of resolving the issue.
In a statement, the New South Wales Deputy Premier and Police Minister Paul Toole says he'll await the findings of the independent review of the police actions, and he wishes Mr. Lim a full recovery.
Gavin Coote reporting there.